to see just how nice this thing still runs. And here I've got pretty much every service record it's ever had, and it does have 283 horsepower, I think it was. Chryslers can actually be reliable. Chrysler invented the minivan. Hey everyone, and welcome back to DC MotorWerks as the channel, because we are not at the shop today, we are at my house because I want to show you my 2013 Chrysler Town & Country and how Chryslers can be super reliable. So the Chrysler's looking a little worse for wear. It hasn't been driven a whole lot lately, so it's kind of been hanging out here. A few little dents, it's a little dirty. This has been the family hauler for the last 50,000 miles or so of its life. I bought it from the original owner who bought it new. You'll never believe, we'll check out the odometer on this one. It is about to hit 350,000 miles. So with that said, let's go ahead and start it up and check that out. This is a limited model, so it comes full with the keyless ignition. So just push the button. And she fires right up, even after sitting here for a while. And you can see there, 347,208 miles. And what's even cooler here, if you go down to your vehicle info page here, so you get your coolant temp, oil temp, it just started up, oil pressure, which is great at a cold start of 80-ish PSI. But that's the piece de resistance right there, is that this engine has 8,000 and almost 300 hours on it. If you're familiar with hours on a vehicle, most that you look at, even with a little over 100,000 miles, will only have 2,000 to 3,000 hours on them. According to the calculation, I think it's like 65 or something like that miles per hour is what they kind of calculate. This one, its effective mileage is even higher than the 347,000 miles that's shown, just based off the engine hours. It's kind of a calculation that people use if there's only an hour meter, like on a piece of equipment, that you can kind of calculate the rough what mileage would be, since that is what we are used to using as a metric of a vehicle's use. But with that said, we'll have cameraman jump in and we'll go around for a ride in a 350,000 mile Chrysler van, see how it rides. Like I said, it was on family duty for a good while, and actually bought this from the original owner at 300,000 miles, just under 300,000. And he actually used it for construction work, so it's got some scratches and scars kind of all over, which was kind of unfortunate, but kind of nice for the young kids also, that I wasn't too worried about them tearing it up. And it still is the fully loaded limited model with the suede inserts on the seats, even in the rows in the back. You get 2 TV screens. You got one here and one further back for the third row. You get the neat ambient lighting here. And even on this hot Georgia day, the air conditioning still works great. Got a floor mat kind of floating around. Like I said, it was on family duty, so it is a little bit of a mess. And like I said, it hadn't been driven a whole lot lately because I replaced it with another one. It's not here right now, but wife's out on some errands. But we'll put some pictures up of the new one here. It's just because this one did so great for us, we replaced it with another one. You've got tri-zone climate control, so you've got driver, passenger, and the rear. You got your heated steering wheel, which is super nice. I actually really like on the Chrysler Mopar vehicles that they even heat the wood/plastic section of the steering wheel, which is not usually seen in the Mercedes that I am used to seeing on a regular basis. It's also got some of the hottest or most functional heated seats I've ever been in. You even get a nice clock, so you get some nice appointments. 2-person memory, like I said, remote start, which is a great feature to have when you have a family and living in the hot southeast, that you can start the engine before you get in the car. Sunshades in the second and third row. You've got an outdated navigation system. Even the rear seats are heated, just the second row, not the third row. You get a lot of the stuff that is in a GL or a Mercedes SUV, or get all that for a fraction of the price, and something that still rides very well. I really hadn't had to do a whole lot to this in the last 50,000 miles. I've done a set of brakes in the front. I did a set of rear shocks only because the original owner, like I said, was in the construction business, and he was always hauling around about 1,000 pounds of tools in the back of this, so he bought those shocks to have an additional spring on them for load carrying. This was a workhorse for him. He bought it because he had, I think it was 3 kids or something like that. He used it as a work vehicle as well. He wanted one all-in-one vehicle. He drove regularly up the East Coast and back because his kids were in Pennsylvania and he lived here. So he said almost every weekend he was driving back and forth, and that's how it accumulated a lot of its miles. But this is on the original engine and transmission. Even after all these miles, really it performs better than some with lower miles on them, honestly. And we've got xenon lights in the front, and it does have automatic high beams. So like I said, lots of features relative to what you paid. I think when he bought this, it was right around $40,000 for the fully loaded one. He actually traded in his Dodge Caravan that had about 180,000 miles to buy this one. He said he wanted the nicest one he could get because he was going to keep it as long as he could. Like I said, he did for the first 300,000 miles of its life. We drove it to Disney, we've driven it to Tennessee. It's been kind of all over. Even a good buddy of mine, he only has smaller cars, but he has 3 kids. He was going to, I think it was North Carolina. He asked if he could borrow the van, and so it made that trip as well. And his kids loved it to the point they were almost had him convinced to buy a van. Really, if you just get past the stigma, it is what I would say the best family vehicle out there, especially when you have kids that like to fling the doors open. With the sliding doors, you do not have to worry about that and getting door dings. And this one still gets 24 to 25 miles to the gallon when we go on trips running 80 miles an hour. And it does have 283 horsepower, I think it was, when they facelifted these vans in 2011. They put in the 3.6 liter Pentastar with a big power boost over the old 3.8 that had been around since the 90s. So it still has plenty of power. See, cameraman got shoved back into his seat there. And it handles way better than a big SUV would. The only downside is you can't really tow a whole lot with it. Fortunately, I have other vehicles for that. Not necessary for the family hauler. You can see here, even on the twisties, we've got no abnormal noises. Responds well, plenty of power. The engine doesn't rattle, smoke, use oil or anything. Kind of a testament to if you take care of something, it will take care of you. The previous owner said he would change the oil every 3,000 to 4,000 miles and the transmission fluid about every 40. He about cut the factory interval in half because he knew what the lifebloods of your vehicle are worth, and it paid off in this case. I actually keep in touch with him every now and again, let him know kind of what's going on with the van, and be kind of sad now that I've replaced it. I don't really have a whole lot of use for it anymore. It has been great around the shop, and for moving and everything, it's great because it does have the stow and go seats. So the seats will fold flat into the floor in the second and third row. So you get a totally flat load floor that you can even put a 4x8 sheet of plywood in, which is one of the marketing campaigns, I guess you'd call it, for the van. But see, look at that, it's got plenty of power. So I kind of started the video with the, I can tell you the title, is that Chryslers can actually be reliable. They do get a bad rap, and you know, every company has a bad apple, but Chrysler invented the minivan back in the late 80s, early 90s, and they're still doing great to this day. And that's why I said when I wanted to replace this van, I wanted nothing else but another Chrysler van, because I think they make the best one out there, because like I said, they were the original inventors of the van. So you can have a look under the hood here to see just how nice this thing still runs. It's nice and smooth. All you hear is just the slight engine noise of the lifters, which is totally normal. Doesn't leak anything. And one of the things is that the original owner had Chrysler's lifetime warranty on this, so pretty much anything it needed, it got covered by the dealership. But honestly, the valve covers hadn't even been off of this engine. It did get a oil pump. It has a variable flow or variable pressure oil pump that needed to be done at 150 or 180,000, but has been great ever since. Really hadn't had a whole lot of work otherwise. I put some spark plugs in it and just kind of normal maintenance stuff. But let's check out. See, we got full power door here. And to show you the stow and go seats, all you have to do is get the passenger seat or driver seat all the way forward. Pull up your floor here, which is a nice storage compartment if you don't have the seat down. And then pretty much one motion there. Seat goes down into the floor. Set that down, and you've got a nice flat load floor. You can do the same with the third row. And like I said, it's been moved in recently. We moved a bunch of furniture, so it's kind of a total mess right now, but still does everything we need it to do. And here I've got pretty much every service record it's ever had. So lots of stuff there. So you get your full power sliding doors, and of course in the rear as well, which you have to hit the button to do the power rear door. If you just pull the lever, it doesn't. See, I've got out still got my original toolkit and jack, which we've got out. Kind of made a mess of that, and then you just hit the button and walk away. So like I said, everything you could want in a family vehicle unless you're towing something, but it's time for this one to get retired, so it's time for it to go to a new home, and hopefully it will get as much use out of the third owner as it has for the first that I bought it from and myself. Thank you all for watching, and we look forward to seeing you on the next video.